What's going on, everyone? So I want to talk about the 2025 early national signing day. I'm going to talk about my Florida Gators. Going to talk about some other teams real quick. Listen, it was a great day for the SEC. Florida finished in recruiting. Let me give you an example. Florida finished in recruiting in early national signing day as in number 11th spot. It's pretty good. But they finished number 8th in the SEC in early national signing day recruiting rankings. I mean, that's insane. So 8 SEC teams in the top 11 in recruiting right now is insane. And the teams you're looking at that you know we're going to do well, especially in the SEC, Texas was at number 1, Alabama number 2, and Georgia at number 3. And what gets these guys coming from high school? What are they looking at? Okay, one, now it's about money. Okay, we know it's about money and who's winning. So, and if you look at the top 4 teams, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, all of them right now in the playoffs. So, or especially Alabama, we'll have to see actually. In making this video, Clemson and SMU could change that. But all 4 teams had 4 or more 5-star recruits signing on early national signing day. So a huge day for the SEC, but a huge day for the top guys, for the top teams who are in the playoffs. And that's what it's about, man. You need your teams in the playoffs so you can really beef up in recruiting. And you're seeing that now. But some teams that did surprise me who were in the top 10, Auburn had a great day. I think they got the things that they've been needing. I feel like they're a quarterback away, especially a good quarterback away from possibly maybe being a contender in the SEC. I know people don't want to hear that. They're like, Hugh Freeze, come on, really? But no, they did get their 5-star quarterback from Lucedale, Mississippi, Deuce Knight. So, that could be their guy for the future. 6'4.5", 206. That could be their guy. So, but they had a great early national signing. They got an edge rusher, a defensive lineman, and a quarterback. That was their top 3 signees from 2025. Then they got a couple of secondary players, Anquan Fagans and Eric Winters, 2 safeties, high 4-star safeties for Auburn. So Auburn had a really good day, early national signing or 2025 class so far. Again, this is early, so there's still a lot of guys that haven't signed yet, but really early national signing day now has been more of the national signing day. A lot of these guys want to sign, get on campus early. So, but Auburn did well. Ohio State in the top 5. Usually they always do well. LSU had a great day, even losing out on their 5-star quarterback. LSU finished number 8 in recruiting rankings for 2025. They held on to DJ Pickett, the 5-star plus corner, who I know Florida fans were looking at possibly flipping. Maybe it was a flip, but he ended up staying with his commitment to LSU. Texas A&M had a great day. Mike Elko and company. Listen, it's going to be hard to, Texas A&M, they got some money and they're winning. Texas A&M had a great year this past year. So they had 25 total commits, 2 5-star players. Tennessee got into that 10th, got in the top 10 just barely in early national signing. They had 26 total commits. They did have a 5-star player, but Florida right outside of the top 10. They finished number 11. Listen, I know Florida fans, I kept seeing it all over. Florida fans think a lot of players, especially the top players, just want to come to Florida. Listen, this is not the same Florida from years ago. So, Florida was trying to flip Dallas Wilson, who ended up going to Oregon, signing Jamie French, the 5-star wide receiver for Texas. He ended up sticking with his commitment. I do like a lot of guys. Listen, they did look out and maybe heard from other teams, but a lot of players stuck with their commitments. So, and that kind of what shocked me. I was expecting more flips on early national signing day than what really transpired. But Florida really wasn't able to flip any on national or early national signing day. They were able to do it leading up to it, though. Florida's class was in the 50s. So Florida did well fighting back. They got to number 11. I thought they'd finish 15th, maybe a little better, but at the 11th spot is not bad. Listen, Florida's thing, and maybe some other teams like Auburn, Michigan, I think the transfer portal is going to be huge for teams like that because they need just a couple more pieces. I think Florida's a couple pieces away. That really Florida right now, they need a big body receiver. I think that's what they're missing right now. They need a red zone threat, somebody that DJ Lagway can throw it up to and just be that, one-on-one where you can give a 50-50 ball to. So I think that's what Florida's missing. Some offensive line play as well, possibly tight end. Florida has going to, I think Arlis Boardingham just announced that he's going to be transferring out. But Florida's system, especially for tight ends, is not really, you're not going to put up a lot of numbers for a tight end. So tight end may be a little scarce. But, if you can get some good blocking tight ends. So Florida's got some right now on the roster. But we'll see if they want to beef up that at the tight end position. But the secondary, I think they did well in this draft, or in this, I say draft class, but signing day. So they got a couple of stud. Ben Hanks, they actually flipped him from Miami. Big time corner. That was their second best signee on early national signing day. 6'1", 170 pounds. Stud corner out of Miami, Florida. They got the edge rusher who was previously committed, I believe, to Penn State, Jaden Woods, 6'3", 240. But they also got Hilton Stubbs, former Miami commit. Safety, 6'1", 190 pounds. So Florida did great getting some good defensive players and flipping some of them. So I thought Florida did a very nice job. I think there's still more to be done. Like I said, they need to hit the transfer portal. We'll see. Some under Billy Napier, maybe not. They're not as aggressive in the transfer portal as I would like to see them. But you also got to remember, I know a lot of Florida fans were wanting some big wide receivers in this class. They did get Vernell Brown, 5-star wide receiver. But listen, Florida Gators' best pass catchers from this past season were both transfer portal guys, Elijah Badger and Chimere DK. So, Florida has been known to go into the transfer portal and get some wide receivers, but they need to get a big body receiver. I really think they need a guy that can just go up, get a 50-50 ball. I think that's what they're missing because they got Eugene Wilson come back. He already announced that he's coming back. You got Aiden Mazzell. Those are smaller, quick twitch. I know Aiden Mazzell is he can go downfield, but you need a guy that's about 6'3", 6'4", get that red zone threat, especially for a guy like Lagway who can give a great touch ball, he has a great arm. So, and he can, his accuracy is very good, especially as a true freshman. Just imagine what it'll be as a true sophomore. So I think Florida needs to hit the transfer portal along with, I think Michigan, Auburn, are going to be a couple teams that are going to be really, really aggressive in the portal. But, all in all, I think the SEC, of course, had the best day out of any conference. Miami shocked me. They actually finished 14th on early national signing day. So, Ole Miss right there at number 15th spot. So, 9 SEC teams in the top 15 on early national signing day. Oklahoma's at 16th. So, it's just crazy how much talent SEC gets each year, and it's always going to get better. SEC brings in a lot of money. People don't want to admit that the SEC is just it's a tough league, and that's why a lot of SEC teams go into the playoffs is because, well, they're just a lot more talented than other teams. It just happens. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But early national signing day was fun. I didn't see a whole lot of what the whole hat flipping. You know how people take off the shirts and all this kind of stuff. I didn't really see much of that this year. A lot of players, I think, just committed or signed. Didn't really make too much out of it, especially this year. That from years past, I saw a lot more of it. But this year, I think a lot of guys were like, we're done with the theatrics. Let's just sign. Let's just get it going and then get on campus early for a lot of these guys. But listen, if you look, I think what I see from this early national signing day, if you make the playoffs, you have a good shot at getting, especially reloading in your next class. Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, top four. The top four are all in the playoffs right now. Well, Alabama will have to see again. So, if you make the playoffs, it just attracts better talent. It's going to attract the top talent. So maybe if Florida, even Auburn didn't even make the playoffs. They're number 6, but Auburn got some money or something. I don't know what they got, but they had a great recruiting class. But hey, all in all, I think it was a great recruiting class for my Florida Gators. It was great for the SEC. How did your team do? I want to know in the comments what you think. How do you think the Florida Gators did? I know a lot of people watch this, Florida Gator fans. I feel like it was a good class. We'll have to really see about the transfer portal. I think that's when we're really going to find out about this upcoming year for the Florida Gators. So, but hey guys, as always, I appreciate y'all watching this channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great one.